Hello and welcome to WePC. My name is Jay and today I'm going to be reviewing the Razer Blade Pro 17. The Razer Blade Pro in its various sizes and configurations is one of the most hotly anticipated laptops this year, as it does come equipped with the 30 series graphics cards from NVIDIA. And at the top of that list is the Razer Blade Pro 17 with a 1080p display, 360Hz refresh rate, and that RTX 3080 GPU, which is the most powerful graphics card available for gaming laptops as of right now. So with so much to go through, let's waste no further time and jump straight into it, and we'll go with the design first. The Pro 17 displays all the usual reserved elegance of the brand, and it's only the large Razer logo on the top of the lid which really divides this as a gaming machine. And if you're a fan of that, it illuminates green and it looks absolutely incredible. Straight away when you look at this thing, it screams elegance with its dark matte aesthetic and subtle details like the green accents within the USB sockets, which is a great touch. And whilst the brushed aluminium finish looks stunning, it is an absolute fingerprint magnet, so don't be putting your meaty hands all over it. As with all of the Razer Blade range, the laptop is pleasingly slimline, and you won't find a thinner brand of laptop with this amount of gaming power. What it is not, however, is light. You really do feel all 6 pounds of weight when you are carrying this thing. This isn't really a criticism though, as you'll struggle to find a competing laptop with these components that does come in lighter, but it is something to note. The keyboard of this device is somewhat of a disappointment if I'm being honest. It is a membrane keyboard as you'd expect, so it's a given that you won't get the typing experience that you would on a mechanical keyboard. However, that being said, the keyboard is beneath the quality you'd find on cheaper laptops such as the Predator Triton 500, which also use membrane keyboards. The individual keys are far too small and feel fairly shallow, yet still unresponsive when typing. And in general, the area that the keyboard takes up on the body of the laptop is far too small. Given the large amount of space available and it's positioned far too back, and it means if you've got smaller hands like me, it's not a particularly comfortable typing experience. The trackpad is of the all-in-one click type design without separate individual buttons. It is also of a pretty decent size and ergonomically well placed. However, on the downside, it has a relatively high amount of pressure to depress it, which makes it less than responsive and also just a bit tiring on the fingers after prolonged use. The tracking of your finger, however, when moving the cursor does feel extremely responsive, and in this regard, it's actually one of the best out there, and it would compete with the MacBook Pros. The 720p webcam comes with infrared technology on this device, and it can be used in conjunction with the Windows Hello. The placement of the camera is on the top bezel, which is where it should always be, and is generally of reasonable image quality and color replication, though not the best we've ever seen. You get a respectable amount of USB ports on this laptop, including 3 USB 3.2 Type A ports and 2 USB 3.2 Type C, one of which doubles as a Thunderbolt port. Thunderbolt connections are very welcome. It's not something that you see on most laptops, and one advantage that does come with having an Intel CPU. Besides this, there is the usual HDMI 2.1 as well as Ethernet and a handy UHS 3 SD card reader. The speakers on the laptop are placed alongside the keyboard and are capable of producing an impressively loud volume. The sound quality, however, isn't that great. Whilst they have no problem hitting the higher treble frequencies, the bass output is basically non-existent. Overall, the speakers sound tinny and thin, and they're just not great for playing music or watching films on, which is honestly disappointing for a laptop of this price. Unsurprisingly, given the hardware it carries under the lid, the Razer Blade Pro 17 is a power-hungry beast, and you'll be lucky to get more than 5 hours of battery life from general usage workloads with Wi-Fi switched on, as well as battery saver mode. Razer is pretty well known for their exceptional displays, and the 2021 iteration of the laptop is no different. Although the 17.3-inch screen means the laptop is a bit less portable, for us the size increase over the 15.6-inch version is worth it for the greater immersion it brings during gaming, not to mention greater room for any other general browsing or work tasks you might be doing. Ultimately though, this is a personal choice, and the Razer Blade Pro 15 FHD 360Hz offers exactly the same laptop with a more compact size and for $200 cheaper. So I'll leave you to weigh those two up against each other. Some might question whether they'd be better going with a 1440p resolution display on a 17-inch size screen, and there's no doubt that you will notice a difference between the resolutions. However, when you consider the relative size of the screen compared to a desktop monitor, It's still not particularly big, and we just think that 1080p does a great job. Now, please note that Aaron, our laptop specialist, has done a whole bunch of noise, temperature, and screen testing of this device, including color gamut, color accuracy, panel uniformity, and brightness testing. And the results of all of those can be found on our full review article, which I will link in the description down below. So go give that a little click if you want to go and see them. So let's end the review with some gaming performance. We ran the Razer Blade Pro 17 on an array of games at both the highest and lowest settings to test its real-world performance. All of these games were tested on the laptop's native 1920 by 1080 resolution. Okay, first up, Doom Eternal. We saw the best performance with this game, getting an average of 223 FPS even on Ultra Nightmare settings, which is unsurprising given that the game is relatively well optimized compared to the other titles that we have benchmarked and relies heavily on GPU performance. On the other end of the spectrum, Cyberpunk 2077, a notoriously poorly optimized game, managed an average of 61 FPS on Ultra settings with Ray Tracing Ultra turned on, also scoring a particularly low 5 FPS on the 0.1% lows. Red Dead Redemption 2 next, which is another game that typically relies on both CPU and GPU power, only managed an average 33 FPS on Ultra settings, which is not an FPS we consider worth playing on. Even on a single-player third-person title, you'll have to turn things down a bit to get a desirable 60 FPS or more. Thankfully, the lowest settings that we tested saw a pretty high average of 121 FPS. And finally, Far Cry 5, a CPU-driven game. The average FPS capped out at 129 on low and 99 on ultra. There was not much drop-off in the 0.1% lows, which remained very high, indicating a smooth gaming experience. Overall, these results are roughly around what you'd expect from a 2080 super-equipped desktop machine with a comparable CPU, which matches what most people are reporting on the performance of the 3080 laptop version. So whilst this machine represents the best performance you're likely going to get on a laptop at the time of making this video, it might leave many people disappointed who were looking for FPSs closer to what the true 3080 can achieve. So there you have it, our review on the Razer Blade Pro 17. It is undoubtedly one of the most powerful gaming laptops that you can buy. The screen is outstanding, both in terms of its color, contrast, and brightness, and the ridiculously high refresh rate. And the whole thing feels of a solid premium construction. Razer's commitment to producing one of the thinnest laptops around has meant that the TGP of the RTX 3080 in its machine is below that of its competitors. People who prize FPS above all else might be better suited going for an alternative device. There are also other areas of less importance but easier for Razer to improve upon that we feel this laptop lacks in given its very high price tag, like the underwhelming keyboard and poor ergonomic design of its size and placement, the warmth of the laptop surface even when not gaming, and poor speakers. Honestly, the speakers are just awful. Just plug your headphones in. It's got THX surround sound, you'll be fine. All in all, if you've got the money to spend and want a nice looking 17-inch gaming laptop with a minimalist design that can just about operate as a mobile workplace computer and has enough battery life to function as a multi-purpose machine, this is the one for you. Go pick it up. If, however, you don't mind having what amounts to a portable desktop as long as you maximize FPS, there are better performing RTX 3080 laptops that are out at the minute. Thank you so much for watching our review on the Razer Blade Pro 17. As always, links to the product will be in the description down below for you to go and check out, as well as our full review article from Aaron. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you could leave a like on it and subscribe if you are new to our channel. We are so close to 20,000 subscribers. We would love to have you along on this journey as we try to reach that. And if you click over there, that will take you to another one of our YouTube videos that we know you will enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Jay, and I'll see you in the next one.